We'll start with, we're still working around the heart space, so a lot of nice restorative poses today, just to let you kind of rest and drop into it, so you're not kind of holding, and it's much more soft in the body. But the first shape we're going to move into is a heart opener with blocks. So if you have 2 blocks, perfect, use them. Ideally you want one underneath your head, and then the other one you want at the back of your body, around this kind of area. So it's just pushing underneath the shoulder blade area. So it's just around here. It almost feels like the back of your waist, or you can use the block in between the shoulder blades, but that might be a little bit strong. So just feel into what feels most comfortable, and you want to have enough space in between, so it's almost like a hand width distance in between the top and the bottom. If that feels a little bit too intense, you can grab a blanket and put it over the top, or you can use, instead of a block underneath you, use a rolled up blanket. So it's still working. It might feel nicer to go that way, so it's long rather than widthways. So just feel into the first kind of shape, and then if that doesn't feel right, then modify. And with your legs, take some cushions or a long bolster underneath your knees, and you can take your legs out long, so your knees are nice and rested, and you can take your legs outstretched. So just come down slowly, move the bottom block to the bottom of the shoulder blades, and then the top block might need to go slightly higher, or you can have it on the lower setting, or again grab some cushions, a rolled up blanket. And you want to feel that the shoulder blade and the arm can just gently rest in that space you've created. And then you can take your arms out widthways, so you've got a nice open chest, and you're feeling the heart space is really being lifted up. So we're here for around 5 minutes or so. So it's a really nice way of you just dropping into the heart space, or opening into the heart space. So really take your time to get yourself set up, feel comfortable and supported. And then once you've found a nice space to really rest into, just take a few nice deep breaths into the belly. And you can sigh the breath out through the mouth. Just let in any tension through the rib cage, through the center of your chest go. And feel your body weight just drop in. So you're feeling slightly more heavy with each exhalation. So if you're not used to having the heart space open and lifted, if you have a tendency for the shoulders to round forward, this can feel quite strong and intense. So just stay in it for as long as feels comfortable with. But if you need to come out or modify, change the position or remove the block, please always feel free to. So allowing your eyes to gently close, and dropping your intention, your awareness into the center of your chest. Just feeling into that space and acknowledging how it feels for the moment. If there's any tightness or hesitancy, or if it feels quite capable to expand, to open, to be more lifted. Is there any other part of the body that is signaling for your attention? And really allowing your whole being to feel very soft. Allowing your mind to move into a space of safety. So that although you're open and the heart space is really lifted, really expanded, you can feel very safe to be in that expansion into the heart. to really feel what's happening in the heart space. And to just rest into that openness of your whole being. And really use the breath in whatever way feels really nourishing for you. So if it feels good to sigh the breath out or make a noise as you release the breath. If there's anything that you're holding on to, just allow it to go with your breath, with each exhalation. So when we really bring our attention into the heart space and bring our pranic awareness here, building more energy in the heart space, we really start to build and boost our immune system, our immunity. Helps us to feel more revitalized, more energized, more lifted, and also a real lightness in our being, a sense of deep joy within. So as we move throughout each shape, just notice how it brings that sense of vibrancy to your mind, to your nervous system. Maybe even the breath feels more expanded, more vitalized. Maybe more able to breathe fully into the lung. Just here for about another minute or so. So take a final round of breath. And then you can slowly start to bring your hands down beside your hips, your elbows to the floor. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, you can grip onto the mat, tuck chin to chest, and squeeze your navel back to the spine, and then slowly prop yourself up. So you can move the props out to the side. And then just come to lay straight back down. And just take a moment to really feel into all that shifting in your back. Maybe more space in the chest. And that sense of energy moving, energy building in the heart. Just notice any sensations, any shifts and changes in your body, in your awareness in the heart space. Let's just take a final round of breath here. And then you can slowly hug your knees into the chest. Either hold around the back of the thigh, behind the knee, or you can hug around the shin and interlace the hands or hold the forearms. Just allow your spine to come into a counter in Apanasana, just hugging the knees in. It feels nice to take a little rock side to side to massage out the back of the heart, pelvis. Please feel free to. And then just roll off to a side and bring yourself up to a seated position. So moving into more of a forward fold to target the back of the heart. You can come to a cross-legged position, or if that feels a little bit uncomfortable in your knees or anything's going on there, you can take butterfly, so soles of the feet together and knees are apart. And you might want to use some cushions or some blocks just to prop up the sides of the knees, if you feel that's more supportive. Otherwise, take a cross-legged position. And if you feel that you need a little bit of a lift in your sit bones, just grab your blanket, roll it over just once, and then you can bring that to sit onto. And just gently push the knees in if you're in easy pose, Sukhasana, and feel the pelvis just slightly pulling round so it's more leveled off in the back of your pelvis. So if you need to move the flesh and just readjust, please feel free to. And then grab your block and bring it just ahead of you. So if that feels a little bit too low, just grab a couple more and stack it up higher, or you can use something soft to go on top, so like a small cloth or something like that. And we want to, you can also use your fists. We want to allow the forehead to come down to rest onto the block, and then the forearms can just rest onto the floor. So just set yourself up and allow yourself to gently roll forward and come down. So it's the same action if you're in butterfly. So if you have a bolster, you might want to use the bolster instead. So the feet can rest and the forehead can just rest onto the bolster. Be in the same position in cross-legged, using the bolster if that feels comfortable to let your forehead rest on. So just getting a nice curve into the back of your heart. So releasing any tension from the back of your heart, the shoulders, the neck. Really let your head feel nice and heavy. And also if you need to prop yourself up underneath your ankles or anything like that, just grab what you need. We'll be here for around 5 minutes. So just taking a final round of breath here. And then slowly walking yourself back up and come into a lifted position. Just pause in for an in and exhalation. And then you can just gently move any props out to the side. And take yourself over onto an all fours position. So just a little bit of work through the upper back, through some cat-cows, just maneuvering through any tissues that feel a little stuck or resistant in the upper back. So taking hands underneath shoulders, knees under your hips, nice wide stable base. And start with a neutral spine. So the gaze is down towards the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. Let the belly and the chest expand. And as you exhale, slowly tuck the tailbone under. Chin tucks the chest and push your heart towards the ceiling. Pulling the navel back to the spine. And really push the breath out. And as you inhale, let your belly and your heart drape to the floor as you lift the crown of the head and the tailbone in the opposite direction. Really squeeze your shoulder blades together, open the heart. Nice slow controlled movement with your breath. Exhaling and rounding, keeping the elbows just gently soft. And inhaling, really opening the whole front line of your body. So feeling into every single muscle and tissue and bone and joint. And feeling into the heart space itself as much as you can. Bring in some mobility into this area around the heart center. Seeing if every round you can just make a little bit more of an expansion into that opening in the front of the body, but also into the back of the body. So just tiny, tiny millimeters more deepening into your being. Let's just take one more through. And then keeping your weight back into the legs. So you want your hips staying over your knees. If you need to pad up your knee, please bring a blanket underneath your knee. And we want to take the hands slightly further forward. So they're more towards the top of your mat. And then take your left arm across. So the palm is underneath your right elbow. And then just gently push the weight back. So you're resting now your forehead onto your forearm. Your right arm is still lifted up. If that's quite strong for you, just drop your right elbow down just ahead of your left hand. So you've got that support there. If that still feels a little bit too strong, then take the floor up to you. So you can bring a bolster or some cushions or stack up a blanket and do the same. So you're bringing your left forearm onto the floor, your right forearm onto the floor. Your chest is now resting onto a block or a blanket or bolster, and then your forehead can gently rest onto a block or to the floor. So prop yourself up as much as you need to in quarter dog. We're working the meridians down the arm. So that right arm, as much as you can, you're opening and stretching all the way down to your fingertips. And you're gently pushing back from that right hand to keep the weight into your legs. and allow for a nice opening down the whole right arm, down the shoulder, and you can feel a nice opening into the armpit area as well. Just breathing deeply into that opening down the right side, into the right rib cage, and keeping the right shoulder blade gliding down the back. I'm not here for as long, just going to be here for about another minute and a half. Nice, just a few final breaths here. Push into the forearm and the hand, and slowly bring yourself up to an all fours position. Once again, just taking your hands underneath the shoulders. Take a moment to pause and keeping a nice long spine. And then going over to the other side, taking the left hand to the top of the mat. Cross your right forearm across the mat and bring the hand just underneath where the left elbow would be, just behind the left elbow. And then push the weight back into the legs and bring your forehead down to the forearm. Or again, prop yourself up as much as you need to if this side feels any different. Please always take exactly what you need for your body. There's no harm in using extra props or support to enable your body to go deeper into the shape. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long, having the chin very gently tucking towards the chest. And try to push the weight back into the legs as much as you can, so you're really opening up that whole arm, all the way from the fingertips down into the armpit, down to the shoulder. So you're getting a nice long stretch. And really breathe into the armpit, the side of the chest, into the rib cage, maybe even to the shoulder blade area, left side. Just here for 2 minutes. There's the final few rounds of breath in. Push into the hand, the forearm, and as you inhale, slowly lift yourself up to all fours position. Take a moment to pause here, feel a nice long spine. And then you can let yourself slowly come down to the mat. So roll your body all the way down. And just take your hands to make a pillow underneath your forehead. Rest your forehead down and allow your body to just soften for a moment. Breathe into the back of your heart. Nice. So from here, take your fingertips off of your mat and then take your elbows up towards the ceiling. So you want your hand like a little spider. So you can bring the fingers nice and wide, bring your elbows wide and create a nice bit of space across your collarbones, your shoulders. So you're not feeling hunched up and squashed, take up space. And as you inhale, push into your fingers, lift your chest up. Exhale, twist to your right, bring your left cheek to the floor, let your left shoulder drop. Inhale to center, lift your body back through to the middle. And as you exhale, look to your left, bring your right cheek to the floor, let your right shoulder drop. And again, inhale through center. Exhale to twist. Nice slow movements with your breath, inhaling center. And then exhaling to turn. Just taking 2 more through each side. Take your time, move with your breath. And feel all that lovely opening down the shoulder, down the side of the neck, and all through the upper back. Really move and twist the tissues through your upper back. Just last one each side. Come through to center, take your elbows down to the floor and then just hug them in. So your elbows a little bit closer in towards one another, and you can either bring your palms together or elbows, palms flat, forearms flat to the floor. You can also rest your head into your hands if that feels most supportive, or you can take a block and bring that just to rest your forehead onto. So you want to make sure that the shoulders are nice and wide. The shoulder blades are gliding down the back and you've got a nice opening through the center of your chest. So there's no compression around the neck, the shoulders, the upper back. And you can feel from the crown of your head, you're lifting the body up out of your hips. Nice long spine. If that's a little bit too strong, or if you'd like to take it a little bit lower, you can stack your forearms and just rest your forehead down. Still working into a back bend, but just not as strong. So really take your awareness back down into your heart space and try to feel as you're breathing in, the front of your heart is expanding and the rib cage is widening. And then as you exhale, there's a feeling of compression or sinking, and the rib cage comes back in towards itself and the heart can really hollow out towards the spine. Try to get all of your breath out in the exhalation, and on the inhale, really fill up so you're flooding the lungs and you're forcing all of the air into the higher lobes of the lungs, where the belly's into the floor. Now creating more space in the upper lobes of the lungs, giving them a good clear out and flush through. We're here for another 3 minutes. Final round of breath here in Sphinx. And then allow yourself to gently roll onto your back. So move any props out to the side. Take your arm underneath you and just roll over onto your back. You can bring your feet to the floor, knees bent, and take your arms just down beside your hips, but create a nice bit of space either side of the body. You can gently push into the feet and feel the lower back connecting into the earth. And as you connect the lower back in, you can feel your chin gently tucked to the chest and lengthen the back of your neck. Just countering the back bend. Feel your breath really move into your belly. Just a few more breaths here. And then pick up your legs and hug your knees back into your chest, just countering. We'll move into a twist from here. So if you have a bolster, take the bolster to your left side. So it's just around your kind of hip height. If you've got a nice long pillow, bring that to the side of you, or if you have something that you can bring to support that leg to the left side of you, please do. You can extend your left leg out long and keep your right leg hugged into your body. Just flex both feet and really pull the right shin in towards your body and stretch your left foot away from you, so you really open up that left hip. Take your right arm out to the side, hold the shin with your left hand, and get your right shoulder blade wide. So almost shift your right shoulder blade over to the right. Take an inhale here. Now as you exhale, twist and take the leg across the body. You may even need to shuffle the hip, shuffle the upper back, so that your right shoulder blade stays glued down to the floor, and you can bring your right leg onto the bolster on your left side. If you need to take anything higher, if the floor needs to come up closer towards you, then just take a blanket or prop yourself up a little bit higher. And you want the whole lower leg supported. So from the knee down to the foot, make sure that the leg is rested. And then if it's okay for your neck, you can look across to your right shoulder. See if you can open that right arm away from you even more. So it'll really take in as much space up through that right side of your chest, your arm, your shoulder. And feeling a nice opening into the palm. Back of the hand rests on the floor. Now drop your breath down into your belly, so you're allowing all of the belly to expand and open. But where we're in the twist, it's going to force more breath again up into the upper lobes around the heart space. So nice grounding and calming posture to calm the mind down after many back bends and heart openings, which are much more stimulating. So we'll be here for around another 3 minutes. Take a final round breath here. And then with your next inhalation, slowly guide your head back through to center. And as you exhale, allow your spine to come back to the floor, your feet to the floor, and just pause in the center for a moment. Just let your spine reset, find neutral. And then take in all of your props over to the right side. hug your knees into the chest again. Extend your right leg out long this time. Stretch it along the floor. Flex both feet. Pull your left shin close into your body and keep extending that right leg out away from you to open the hip. Take your left arm out to the side. Nice stretch. Open through the left shoulder blades. Get that down onto the floor. Back of the hand rests onto the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist your body over to the right side. So you may need to shuffle again through the upper back, through the hips. Prop yourself up as much as you need to behind your left shoulder blade, underneath your left leg. And then if it feels okay for your neck and shoulders, you can look over your left shoulder this time. 5 minutes. Just allowing your body to drop. take in a final round of breath here. Your next inhalation, guiding the head back through to center. You can slowly roll onto your back as you exhale the breath out. Bring your feet down to the floor and just pause again in a semi-supine. Just allowing your body to reset. Then hugging the knees in once again, just countering and finding some symmetry. So final pose before we come down to rest. You can either take a legs up the wall position, or you can take a forward fold. So if you're taking legs up the wall, just grab a cushion or a bolster and bring that right up to the wall. And then you want to bring your legs as close up to the wall as you can. Bring your hips up as close as you can. Spin yourself round and try to get the whole back of the leg connected. If you have a yoga strap, you can bring the strap around your lower leg so you keep the legs together. And you also want to take a blanket underneath your head. So you've got a nice support for your head, a space for your arms and shoulders to come out. Or you can take a forward folded position, just working a little bit more into the back of the heart. So take whichever variation feels good for you, and we're here for around 5 minutes. Just get yourself set up. If you're a little bit further away from the wall, just use your elbows to shuffle yourself in so you can get nice and close up to the wall. And if your bolster is too high or it feels a little uncomfortable, then you can take a rolled up blanket underneath your lower back. It's a lot of wiggling. Nice. So if you feel that it will be nice for your arms to be over the head, there's also an invitation to take the arms up over your head, just bending the elbows and bringing the backs of the palms onto the floor. Otherwise, arms can be in a nice wide T shape, and just resting down for the eyes. If you have something to cover your eyes as well, you can do that. Just taking the breath back down into a nice natural rhythm, filling the breath deep into your belly.
Very, very slowly and gently you come back to your breath and come back to your body here in the shape. When you feel ready to, you can slowly take your feet down the wall. If you had a strap around your legs, you can take the strap off here. And then take your time and just roll off to your side and just pause on your side for a moment. If you're in a forward fold, just slowly allowing yourself to come up to a lifted position. You can lean back into your hands and bring your feet to the floor, knees bent. Take your time to slowly come up and bring yourself into a seated position. You may need to prop yourself up a little bit higher, taking any additional support underneath your sit bones. Find the connection of your seat into the earth, and from that groundedness, from that support, allow your spine to really lengthen up into the crown of your head. Allow your breath to regulate. And just bringing your attention into your heart space once again. Connecting with that expansion and contraction around the heart space. And in that expansion, feel from the very center of your heart a white light glowing and brightening, filling the chest as you inhale. And as you exhale, compression brings that white light back down into a singular point of white light. Inhale is expanding the white light from the center of the chest outward, filling and flooding the entire torso and chest area. And the exhalation, compressing the light back down into a singular point. Your breath is very smooth, silent, subtle, and seamless. Allowing the breath to stay deep and rhythmic. So very gradually allowing your awareness of the internal light to just drift away, releasing that focus. And slowly bringing the hands into prayer, resting the thumbs onto your heart space, connecting in with that place of inner light. And always knowing that we can call upon that inner light to bring us more vitality, more power, sense of lightness in our hearts, and a sense of deep internal joy and contentment that's always there with us. Just bringing that remembrance back to us, that we can access it at any point when we call forth the light of our soul, the light of our essence. Namaste.